Mirror's Edge Catalyst takes place in a futuristic city called Glass, and it's a first-person action-adventure game with occasional third-person perspective elements added. Players of the original Mirror's Edge will feel right at home as they traverse the city's landscapes using parkour to evade enemies, jump from ledges, cross zip lines, and many other environmental objects to travel across the roofs and buildings all at your disposal. As usual, paths are presented in red as an indicator to tell Faith where she needs to head and what you need to do next. Due to the open world element of the game, there are numerous ways to get to your goal, as this is an open world game. Combat has been more emphasized in this iteration of Mirror's Edge to give you way more things to take advantage of, due to the fact that this is an open world game and it's a lot larger than its first counterpart. Enemies will stand in your way and you will choose to either take them out by either doing combat or doing stealth or doing fast-paced action to get through these obstacles. The mechanics of the game focus on parkour mixed with combat in order to give you the option of the two. Time trials will await you if you play online, where you can take out numerous high scores from friends who you play with or people you know that may have played the game. The game doesn't have any online multiplayer co-op features added. So activate Connor Faith's running vision and go save the day.
Over here, I see her. You, hold him.
DICE rolls out its Frostbite engine, and seeing it in a FPS game without a gun is actually something unique. However, there is a slight learning curve to the mechanics, but the learning curve is something that makes the game feel slightly clunky. Now, normally clunky controls are something that I really despise, but this is not something that doesn't take much long to get over. After about 20-30 minutes tops, you'll be used to the parkour system and how it works, but however, for the first 30 minutes, you do have to get used to it, as due to the fact that this is an engine you see in a lot of FPS shooters, you tend to have the habits that will carry over if you're somebody like me who's played a lot of these games. You have to get used to holding the jump button instead of just pressing it and things of that nature. However, the mechanics are not too basic and crazy. There is a lot to learn as far as the moves are concerned, because as you progress through the game and gather points, you do unlock other features and things that you have to get used to performing as you traverse the game. Overall, the controls are pretty decent and good. There's nothing to complain about here. It's traditionally what you would see in any FPS game in today's times.
Stay focused all the way to the drop. If you stop or make too many mistakes, you won't make it.
Things have changed in the graphics section of my review. From now on, I will be doing graphics and performance all in one segment, due to the fact that the performance of the console games usually determine how they work based off their graphics. So with that being said, Mirror's Edge Catalyst is graphically impressive. The Xbox One version is coming in at 720p 60 FPS. The PlayStation is coming in at 900p 60 FPS. Now, of course, due to the fact that newer consoles are coming out and they can patch this is just currently the resolution as of this review. The PC, of course, goes well beyond this depending on your hardware, so we'll exclude that from this portion of the review due to the fact that what I'm going to talk about is not affecting the PC version of the game. The Xbox One version has a lot of jaggies in the background, and it's slightly different from the PlayStation version. Now, this is something that you may not have noticed, and you probably will not notice unless you look at these games side by side. Graphically, the PlayStation and Xbox One version almost look identical. However, there is color differences due to the shading, and there is texture differences due to the fact that the draw distances are different. Now, as far as the performance is concerned, 60 FPS is very hard to achieve in an open world game, especially on this hardware, and the fact that it's being done, I have to actually commend DICE for doing this, because this is simply something that's hard to do, and it was actually done on this game. So with that being said, let's talk about the performance. Of course, with it being open world and 60 FPS, you do get your occasional frame dips. The frame dips will vary from 12 to 10 to 2 frames per second depending on what's going on, but when you're in a closed environment, it usually stays around 59 frames. Now, I think, of course, this goes back to what I said earlier, and it's due to the fact that there's so much detail and texture poppings that the game is actually suffering from frame dips while it's rendering. However, this is not something that you'll notice. The game doesn't crash. It doesn't do any of these things where you see it just slow down. It's just things that you may notice happening from time to time when you're panning around, of course, and action is occurring. This is something that you will not really be able to notice unless you're looking for it. So it's not something that I'm complaining about, but just something to point out. This also can be addressed in a patch. As of now, it has not been patched, and it may be patched down the line. Now, as far as like I said with the PlayStation versus the Xbox, the difference in resolution does not show, only the draw distance difference and the color shading is different. However, if you don't look at these games next to one another, you may not even be able to tell due to the fact that they're so similar. Now, as far as the textures are concerned, there's no difference, which in some games you see that, but you don't really see that here. So if you're nitpicking, then maybe you could say that the PlayStation version looks better than the Xbox version, but in my honest opinion, they're both pretty equal, and this is something that I found no reason to complain about. If you have a PlayStation or Xbox One, go get it for whatever platform you prefer and have fun. Graphically, the game is impressive and looks beautiful. Performance wise, the game performs pretty good, so there's no complaints or anything to warn you about there. Everything's pretty good on that end. Overall, Mirror's Edge Catalyst has a breakdown of menu skills that you have to acquire, keeping you immersed in the game and playing throughout the story to unlock new skills and talents to progress through the game. Due to the fact that it is an open world game, it gives you a lot of things to do to keep you busy while playing the game. This saves it from being just a simple rental. However, if you plan on playing the game and you're not heavy into parkour, this is not a game that you may want to actually buy or keep. So you may want to rent it first to see if it's something you want to invest $60 in, due to the fact that in today's time it doesn't have a multiplayer experience at all other than challenging your friends to beat their scores. Usually games like this I would say purchase, but nowadays you have to be very careful to see if it's something you want to keep. I see a lot of people who purchase this game trading it back in. So if you don't have a rental access, I definitely think this is a game you should try out. Is it a game that you're gonna replay? No, and this is what I base my should you buy reviews off of. I don't see anybody replaying this game after they beat it. So I have to recommend that you look at this game as a rental before I say should you buy it. Overall, however, the game is pretty good and dope. I did have a lot of fun playing it. Once I was finished with the game, I was finished with the game. So I have to be honest in my review, right? So honestly, in my review, I'm saying that once you beat this game, you may want to put it back where you got it, and that is the reason I'm saying this is a rental on my should you buy it, should you rent it, or should you not get it review. So this is an honest should you buy review from Jimmybgaming. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Are you upset? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think that this is a buy? Do you like the game? What did you think? What are your thoughts? Are you getting it? Are you not? I'm out of here. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Peace. Hey, you made it to the end of the video. Wait, before you go, do me one favor. Of course, you know what I'm going to say, right? You know what I'm going to say to you, right? You know what I'm going to ask you to do, right? Yeah, I'm going to ask you to hit the subscribe button if you're new. If you're not, that's cool. What I need you to do is click on the link above you and check out that video, okay? That's what I need you to do. Click on this big box right here on the screen. Yes, hit that right there. I'm out of here. I'm later. Yeah, gotta go. Peace.